Hey, guess what? This is another post-game commentary. Hopefully the last post-game commentary. When I deleted Week 6, I also deleted Week 7 at the same time. I did know that beforehand, but I forgot to mention it. But this is against the Nashville Nidokings. I did not delete my team builder, so I still had my camera footage for that, so good. But I did delete the battle footage. Obviously, I would prefer it flipped. So anyway, they brought Dracozolt, Weavile, Celesteela, Hippowdon, Aerodactyl, and Raboot. And I brought Venray, Fouemore, Banneret, Jahelv, Endgame, and Zapdos. My entire plan the whole time, I was going to lead Ninetales. If you saw my team builder, I said it, my plan was. So maybe I should just teach you a lesson for not watching my team builder. Just in case. No, just kidding, whatever. Basically, I just use substitute first turn. If they lead Hippowdon, that's basically what my plan was, because I felt like, they could lead Hippowdon. It's slower in my Ninetales. Not that weather is really that great. On my team, I just kind of brought it just to cancel out his. I did not actually bring Chlorophyll on my Whimsicott. I brought Prankster, and I brought an annoying Whimsicott. Maybe I should have brought Chlorophyll, but I didn't want to. I just didn't. So yeah, here we go, and his guy, and he's gonna lead White Claw, which by the way is Weavile, not Hippowdon. I'm gonna lead Jahelv. I'm gonna get my son up. I thought maybe they're gonna lead Hippowdon, that's why I'm wrong, but I was wrong. They did not lead Hippowdon. So I was thinking, like, okay, right now if it's Choice Banded and it goes for knockoff, it might just kill me, because Ninetales is very physically frail, so I don't really want to risk it, so let's just go Banneret here. Okay? Obviously I could be Scarfed to fire off a fire move, but I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. So I'm going to make the switch to Banneret, because I know Banneret can take anything this Weavile wants to do, and maybe I'll lose my Rocky Helmet here, but that's only if they're like banded and they're really confident. But they switch White Claw out, and they go Beach Day, which is Hippowdon. Now, originally I thought how it works is if I switch out first, like we both switched out at the same turn, and I switched out first, I thought I was faster. But there's no way I believe that's true. I don't even have a benefiting nature in my speed stat, and Weavile's significantly faster. So I don't know what happened there. I must be wrong with how I thought it worked. I'm going to poison this Hippowdon with Toxic. That was my plan all along, because his only cleric is Roselia, I think. But maybe there's one more, but he didn't actually bring any clerics, so my game plan was to poison a lot of his team. So I did successfully hit the Toxic, and he goes for Yawn, so I'm thinking, okay, I gotta switch. I don't want to be asleep, because the Weavile can kill me if I can't roost. So I'll have to switch to Zapdos here, because they can't Earthquake Zapdos. Right? So Zapdos has a nice switch in here, and they actually switch. They make a double, and they go into Shockasaur, which, by the way, of course, is Dracozolt, so already I'm under pressure here. I got a freaking Dracozolt in the Sandstorm, but I did plan for this thing a lot. Uplifter was here, so, out of all my guys, Zapdos is one of the few that do not have Protect, so I cannot see what move he goes for, because I do believe he is choiced at this point in the game. I do believe he's choiced, Choice Banded, so I have to guess kind of what move he's going to go for. Now, obviously, Bolt Beak is easy to push, because it just does so much damage. Obviously, Venray is immune to it. So I'm thinking, okay, I think they're going to Bolt Beak, like just to test what my switch-in is to Dracozolt. That's what I'm sort of thinking. So I do go Venray here, as they go for Stone Edge. So I'm okay with that, because I still resist it, and it's not very effective, and he shows that he's Life Orb, so okay, he's not locked into Stone Edge, he can go for whatever he wants. So I'm going to Protect here to see if what he has to hit my Nidoking, if he has Earthquake, or if he's just going to straight up Outrage. So I Protect, and also stalling out Sandstorm. And they Earthquake, so they revealed Stone Edge and Earthquake already. So Bolt Beak is definitely on that set, so there's still one more move. I'm thinking maybe there's a chance They could have a poison type move instead of a dragon type move, because dragon's not, like, dragon's a pretty good type, but I do have a very good physical wall, steel wall, I mean, in Skarmory, Banneret, and also Foymore's around. So, yeah, that was my thought process there. They just Earthquake again. They don't make any predictions yet. So obviously I resist that, and it doesn't do much damage. They take my Life Orb, so I'm okay with this thing being whittled away. I'm going to take Sandstorm and recover that Sandstorm damage with my half-eaten apple. So there we go. I'm going to Protect again this turn. I said it beforehand, so spoilers. But I'm... come on, just say it. So I'm going to Protect again this turn, so because I want to see if they have a poison type move, because I think it gets poison type moves. But they switch Shakasaur out this turn, and they go into Rocket, which I thought was Celesteela when I initially read the word Rocket, but it's actually a Reboot. Rocket the Reboot. Okay, so we're both going to take Sandstorm. It reveals that I'm faster here, but obviously I don't really want to take a Flare Blitz from this Reboot. So I'm going to have to switch. Now, I did prep Zapdos, actually, like, with this Reboot in mind. I thought maybe, okay, you know what, Reboot can do some damage with Flare Blitz in the sun, so I have to also... Zapdos was my emergency switch into things trying to benefit in the sunlight. So, yeah, Flame Charge, he's risking Static. And does he get paralyzed here? Sandstorm subsides. He does not get paralyzed via Static. I'm going to recover with my leftovers here. But they got a speed boost, so they're faster than me now, so I'm thinking maybe, you know what, they might try to stay in. Maybe this thing gets Stone Edge or something to hit me. I didn't actually really know much about Reboot, even though that is what I chose as my starter. So I just Thunderbolt. They go for U-turn. Libero is going to kick in, obviously, and guess what? They're risking Static again, unless they're Protective Pads. It's not very effective, and they switched back to Adam, and he does not get affected by the Static. Now, I don't think he's Protective Pads, because why would he be? He would be Eviolite, most likely. He's obviously not choiced. So he goes back into Hippowdon Beach Day, which is going to be immune to the Thunderbolt I just pushed. I don't actually have Hurricane, because I brought Harsh Sunlight, and I didn't really want to reduce the accuracy. So obviously, that's not going to do anything. And I'm going to take Sandstorm and recover that health back. So, all this Sandstorm and leftovers makes me glad that we're playing on land. They're going to take more poison, which was my plan. I want to make sure this thing, you know, I want to put a lot of pressure on this Hippowdon, because if it dies, then there's no more Sandstorm. So right now I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to do here? Because he might try to make a double back to Shakasaur, which is actually going to be kind of troublesome. Again, obviously, every time it's on the field is pressure. Even though I did play around it very nicely, so I'm thinking, okay, you know what, do I want to switch Ninetales here? Like, they're not going to Earthquake. There's no way they're going to Earthquake. I'm Zapdos in front, and I have Banneret in the back, which is an easy switch into this. I can start Poison Stalling it. Like, I think I could go Ninetales here, like that, without risking Earthquake. I don't think they're going to Earthquake, so I decide, you know what, okay, yeah, let's go Ninetales. So, yeah, obviously I switch out here, and here comes Jahelv to get rid of the Sandstorm with Drought. So even if he does Earthquake here, at least I got rid of the Sandstorm this time round. And they Stealth Rock, so that was very scary, because I thought, you know, there's a chance maybe they'll push it, but they didn't really want to risk it very much. So they take more poison, 12% this time, and now I'm like, okay, good. I'm sitting here full health. I don't really care about the Stealth Rocks right now. I'm going to substitute. Zapdos is not going to really like the Stealth Rocks very much, but they switch Beach Day out and they go back into Rocket, which is the Reboot, so they're thinking, okay, I can take a Fire move. Then I substitute. They probably figured they could handle Fire Blast, which they can handle Fire Blast pretty routinely, but with Eviolite. But that is not what Jahelv's all about this week. And now I push Toxic, because I can against this Rocket, and if Celesteela wants to come in, go right ahead and come on in. I'll hit you with a flamethrower. And Roselia is not here, so Celesteela is the only thing immune to Toxic. So I'm going to hit the Toxic on this reboot. Rocket. And he's going to go for Flame Charge, which I thought, there's a chance I could break my sub. Rather physically frail. And it's in the harsh sunlight, but they do not break my substitute. So I'm thinking that's fantastic. I'm going to recover leftovers. They're going to take poison. They do not have leftovers, because obviously they're more than likely Eviolite. So I'm thinking, okay, this is an easy protect. If they switch, I get leftovers recovery, and I still have a substitute, and I can poison something else. And if it's Hippowdon, they'll start taking poison damage. So I just protect. I thought they were going to stay in. And they go for Flame Charge, which, yes, they do stay in. Obviously, I'll block that. And guess what? I get more healing, and they take more poison damage. Now, if we weren't on land, I probably would not have brought this set. And matter of fact, I barely brought this set because this is actually disgusting. So I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I should substitute here, because they can actually break my sub this turn, and then I would just replenish it. But I decided not to, because I thought maybe, you know what, I'll just get damage. A little more damage on this thing. I'm running out of sunlight, so let's take advantage, right? So they break my sub with that Flame Charge, and they get another speed boost. So they're double their speed, and I hit this thing with a flamethrower in the sun. And it actually does a decent amount of damage. I think that's Eviolite. So the sunlight's going to fade, and then they're going to take more poison, and I'm going to heal more. So I'm pretty much going to be just barely less than full health. 2 less health, which could make a difference, but they take a lot of poison now, so it's really starting to rack up. So if they want to stay in and try to hit me, they can, but they know I can protect here. But I just go for substitute instead. I'm thinking maybe they could switch, and they do go for U-turn here. I actually did overlook the U-turn here, but it's still not going to hurt very much. It doesn't really hurt that much. It does 15% maybe to me, which, that's fine. I can take that. That's fine. Then he goes back and then hit Hippowdon. Beach Day, which is taking poison damage. Now it could easily have Slack Off, but the poison is still gonna eat away at it, right? Obviously. I'm gonna get another substitute up as well. So thinking, okay, they'll probably just Earthquake to break my substitute. I don't think they'll Slack Off yet. And obviously I'm not healing in the Sandstorm. I don't think they'll Slack Off yet. I'm just gonna, I'm thinking, do I Flamethrower though, just in case maybe they do Slack Off, or do I just protect here? Because I think they're going to Earthquake, and then I decide, yeah, they're going to Earthquake, I think, so I'm just going to protect here. More poison damage. So I do protect. Maybe a little obvious there, a little bit, but I thought they were going to Earthquake for sure, but then they go for Slack Off. So I didn't know they had Slack Off, obviously, so now they revealed it. So I do agree with myself pushing Protect. Even though I was close pushing Flamethrower. Yeah, I do believe Protect was, well, obviously it wasn't the right move there, but who cares? It was what I would have pushed, obviously. So now I have Flamethrower because I'm gonna get a little bit of damage on this thing here. It's not gonna do much damage, especially not in the sunlight and with very little investment. And actually, it does decent damage to the Hippowdon, and they Earthquake this turn. And obviously that's going to destroy my substitute, obviously. Like, that would have been close to killing me at full health, probably, even with a lot of the investment. So with the leftovers, the Sandstorm is not actually whittling me away. And the poison, however, is whittling them away. So I can actually, I could substitute here and be very, almost dead. Or I can protect, and thinking maybe they might Slack Off again. But I decided, yeah, you know what, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should switch because I'm starting to get weak here, and I can come back in later, put on some more pressure. So I'll just switch to Banneret here. Alright, if I switch to Banneret and they Earthquake, obviously it's not going to do anything. They're going to take more poison. But if they Slack Off, it's good play on them. So I take a little bit of rocks damage here, and they decide to Earthquake. So I made the right call there, and they're going to take a lot of poison damage here. They're going to be almost dead. And I do not have leftovers. I have Rocky Helmet, so I decided, you know what, yeah, I've had enough of these Stealth Rocks. Zapdos is not going to like them, Jahel's not going to like them, so let's get rid of them. And they switch Beach Day out and they go Shakasaur, so I have just stalled out a lot of Sandstorm time. Obviously, with the Hippowdon, and it's almost dead. Like, you can't take any hits. You can't switch in on anything and survive unless it's an electric type move. Obviously. So they have 3 more turns to Sandstorm. Obviously, it's Smooth Rock Hippowdon. So now I have 3 turns to stall this thing out, and so I decide, you know what, let's go for way more here. I'm thinking maybe they might try to predict an Earthquake. Thinking maybe Venray's going to come in. So I try to make a sneaky move here, thinking they might overpredict. But then they just go for Bolt Beak. So they're just attacking what's in front of them right now. And that does a lot of damage to Fuemore. And they're going to take some life over. So I overpredicted. And Sandstorm's going to bring me into the red, and Leftover's going to take me out of the red. Now at this point I'm thinking, you know what, I think I can leave an Earthquake. I really do think I can leave an Earthquake at that tiny little bit of health there. But so I protect. I was thinking, you know what, maybe they might try to be, you know, maybe they might screw up here. So, alright, and then they go for Stone Edge. So they're trying to kill me. And I take, obviously, the Sandstorm, and I'm just going to heal it off again with the Leftovers. So, still they're attacking what's in front of them. They didn't predict yet. So I'm thinking, you know what, maybe they might try to predict. But so far, they're just attacking what's in front of them. So, I'm just going to go Venray here. So, which is fine. They can, like, they're just playing it safe, and clearly it pays off. They nearly killed my Whimsicott. So I'm thinking, okay, do I go Venray here? Are they going to Stone Edge again? If they Earthquake, they might just wipe me out, but this is the last turn of Sandstorm, and if they screw it up, then I can be in on Dracozolt with no Sandstorm, which means I'm faster than it. I did EV Nidoking to be faster than Dracozolt outside of the Sandstorm. And they do just go for Stone Edge, and obviously I resist that. It brings me to about half, 51%, and they are taking more Life Orb, so they're very injured. This from their Life Orb damage. I actually have yet to attack this thing head on. I've only protected and switched, but now I'm going to attack here. So I'm thinking, you know what? Earthbound is a little obvious. They do have a Celesteela, which is immune to my ground type move, and my poison type move. They have an Aerodactyl, which is resistant to my poison type move, and immune to my ground type move. Obviously, I have brought Thunderbolt, but Celesteela might be able to take some of that after some trouble here. So I'm just trying to think here, do I predict one of those to come in? Do I do that? And I do. I decide, you know what, okay, let's Thunderbolt. I think in Celesteela or Aerodactyl comes in. So they switch out, and then they go back to Hippowdon, which is unfortunate. They just got rid of this thing to get the Sandstorm up. They just got rid of. They're just trying to sack their Hippowdon, get more, and get a clean switch into Shakasaur. But yeah, obviously that does not. It kind of pays off. So I made the wrong choice. Obviously, I thought for sure I was making a very good choice there. So I decided, okay, let's Earth Power. Let's get rid of this thing, because if I can kill this, obviously, then like Sandstorm's gone. So Beach Day goes down. So now this is their last little bit of Sandstorm here. When it ends, then it's over for the rest of the game. And Shakasaur is significantly less of a threat, because it's going to be pretty slow. Slower than most of my team, actually. Which means Bolt Beak will not be doing much damage. So this is Shakasaur's like last attempt to be kind of sneaky, right? And obviously they have they have like their entire Sandstorm is there except for one turn. So I protect to kind of just, you know, let's stall out some Sandstorm terms, because obviously if I try to switch to Ninetales, I'm just going to be obliterated by an Earthquake or a Stone Edge or a Bolt Beak, which is the 3 moves they revealed yet. I have not seen my last move yet. I thought maybe it was a poison type move, but they tried to Stone Edge for way more, so I don't think it's a poison type move, so it is more than likely a dragon type move, I'm thinking, at this point. So I don't want to switch to Shahil, because I will die to pretty much anything it goes for. So I decide, you know what, Fuemore, you're done. You're done. I'm going to get rid of you now. If they Earthquake here, then I could actually live, I'm thinking here. So I do go in with Fuemore here, and they do decide to Earthquake. So they're trying to get my Venray. And I live on 3 health, which is which is nice. It would have mattered if there's no Sandstorm or if Leftovers was priority, but I'm going to be taken out by the Sandstorm. So Hippowdon actually gets that KO instead of the Dracozolt. But now I just go to Jahel for free, and the Sandstorm is gone, and this thing is way less of a threat. Obviously, it is initially a threat for Jahel, since I will be obliterated by, you know, again, any move it goes for. I might live a Bolt Peak at that point because I will be faster, but I don't really want to, you know, take an Earthquake or anything. So I'm kind of considering here, but maybe I do. I could try something, but there's no point pushing Protect or Substitute. I'm only stalling out my own Sunlight, so I do decide to switch here. And obviously, there's a lot of options here. I could go Venray, which would be nice, but obviously they're going to go for the ground type move. I think Earthquake is obvious, or Stone Edge. But I didn't know which one, obviously. But I do decide to go Zapdos here, so I do not think they're going to Stone Edge. I think maybe, like, you know, not Stone Edge. Anything else would take out Ninetales, and Stone Edge has a chance of missing. So I do go Zapdos here, and they go for Earthquake, which is very nice. So that does not affect Zapdos, obviously, and I get Leftovers. Recovery. And, yeah. So then I decide, okay, let's poison you, because I can't really hurt you very much. I only have electric type moves, which obviously you quad resist, Shockasaurus, so let's poison you, put you on even more of a timer, so then they Stone Edge, which does a lot of damage, but I do live, because I did put a lot of physical defense, or a significant amount of physical defense in the Zapdos. I'm also max HP, Leftovers recovery, so I do live that. So now here's that game again where if I Roost, do they Earthquake and wipe me out, or do they Stone Edge, or what happens here, right? So, or do I just switch? Because, you know, I cannot live an Earthquake at this point. Obviously, I can take a Stone Edge if they do decide to do that when I Roost. So I do elect to push Roost here. And there it is. Recovery. And I go all the way up to 241 HP, and then they decide to Outrage. So Waymore is gone, so they can just push Outrage, and I live on 3 health again. And they take Life Orb, and I heal with my Leftovers. Oh, they take Life Orb, and they're going to take some poison damage here. So they have one more turn to go, and they're locked in Outrage at this point. I'm very glad Zapdos decided to live that attack. It was very close. I thought Zapdos can tank that, though. Zapdos is Zapdos. It's a monster when it comes to that. So I can just go Banneret here, easy. Obviously, their timer, right, by the way, is pretty much double what mine is at this point in the match. I'm going to go Banneret, because she can obviously take an Outrage, and they'll take Rocky Helmet, Poison, and Life Orb. So even if they were at, like, you know, if they were, like, just underneath half health, probably it would be very close to sticking out. So Rocky Helmet's going to take out Dracozolt. I have actually did not attack it directly that entire time. It just destroyed itself with its own Life Orb, Poison, and Rocky Helmet. No, and Dracozolt is gone without too much trouble. It did take out my Waymore, Whimsicott, but you know, that wasn't that bad. I was able to get rid of it fairly routinely, in my opinion. I think I played around it very nicely, if I do say so myself. So they're deciding what they want to go into here, obviously. How do they deal with Skarmory? They can't really hurt me too bad. Obviously they have Raboot still, but they go White Claw. So if this is Choice Banded, I know I can take a triple axle with like 50% of my health, and obviously I can take a knockoff. So I know I can take a hit from this thing, and I'm pretty sure I can just obliterate it with Iron Head, so I just, you know what, okay, let's Iron Head. I'm not going to play games with you. Weavile, go ahead and hit me. You're going to take Rocky Helmet and an Iron Head, and I don't think you can live that, Weavile. If you can prove me wrong, go right ahead. So they knock off, and that does a gigantic amount of damage, so I know they're Choice Banded at that point. Rocky Helmet's gone, and I Iron Head here. And they actually live. So I was very surprised to see them live that, and I was like, oh no, no, not again, because Weavile was the thing that took me out of playoffs last time. And I look at my team here, it one-shots the rest of my team, except for Endgame here, so I cannot switch. I mean, I could switch, but I would have to sack something. Something has to die here, no matter what, because this Weavile lived. I take a look at this team and decide, you know what? Okay, I'll just let I'll let Banneret go down here to the knockoff. So Weavile's faster than the rest of my team, and it's choice banded, which is very scary. So I literally have no choice, I think, but to go into endgame. But then I remember at the beginning of the game what I said. Shahelv switched out first against a, Weavile. Am I faster than this thing? That's what I was sort of thinking, but, like, there's no way, right? There's no way I'm faster. So I have to attack here. I cannot set up yet. I have to attack because they can kill me. If I decide to set up, they can kill me. But they switch White Claw for later, so it's still around, obviously. And they go Celesteela here, which is obviously a very good switch into the Facade without any status. Even with the status, it's still not going to do too much. But I was actually kind of impressed with the amount of damage she did. It's pretty much nothing, but after the leftovers, but I was impressed. So I decided, okay, how do I deal with this thing? Here, I have no choice. I think I have to start setting up. I think I have to go for game right now. So I push Curse, and I decide, okay, this was my switch into you, so I think I can handle anything you want to do, aside from Toxic, obviously. So I'm going to set up a Curse in front of the Celesteela, and it tries to Leech Seed me, but obviously that's not going to work, because I am Sap Sipper, specifically for that Leech Seed. Pretty much no other move, just that Leech Seed, and maybe Giga Drain from this thing, or random grass moves from other things, but I don't really see that. So I decide, okay, I need to Curse again, because I need to do damage. So they're faster now, they go for Toxic, they do not miss. And now endgame is on a timer here. Timer. So I Curse again, and now I'm sitting at +3 attack, +2 defense, obviously -2 speed, with a Moringa Berry still, so no leftovers this time. I'm going to take a little bit of damage. So now I look at their team and I decide, hey look, Raboot's very injured, Weavile's very injured. The other two things are weak to electric type moves, so Zapdos is pretty good in this match still. But obviously there is a Weavile that is faster than me and can kill the rest of my team. In theory, on paper it's faster than me, but according to what I was thinking, I switched out first, so I thought Shahelv was faster, which does not make any sense. So again, I must be wrong. How I thought it worked must be incorrect. It must be like the opposite or something, or it's just random. But in this turn, I decided to Thunder Punch because I have to hit something. And they're faster than me in the Earthquake, which at +2 defense is nothing. That is maybe leftovers recovery, like damage 6%, and I Thunder Punch and it does like 75% of this thing. So obviously it cannot take another one. And it has no way to heal itself outside of rest. And I take more poison, so I have to make sure I'm at the right amount of health so I can take a hit from Weavile and knock it out. Because if I get low enough, I'm going to die from the Weavile, which is unfortunate. So I have to Thunder Punch again. I have to make sure I have enough health so I can take it. At +2 defense, I can easily take it at this point. If I kill this thing this turn, unless this Earthquake crits me this turn, which by the way, it does not crit me this turn. So I Thunder Punch, and endgame gets a KO against Celesteela, so yay! I'm not going to go negative KD in this match, so she's going to take poison damage. Ouch! Poison hurts at this point, but even at half health, a +2 defense, I'm pretty sure I can take a hit from Weavile, which I did think was coming in here, but then they go Rocket, which is the reboot to stall out some more time. So I'm thinking, okay, poison's not that bad yet. Do I switch on this thing? But if I switch, I lose my bonus, so I can't switch, and I have to Milk Drink this turn, and I have to hope he misses he misses. I have to hope he misses something twice, pretty much. I can't really take damage. If he has high jump kick, he can miss, and that will take himself out. So I decide, okay, you know what? I was struggling, clearly. You can see I'm struggling to make a decision here at this point. But I decide I have to heal eventually after all this. I'm sorry, spoilers. But I decide, you know what, milk drink time. I have to do this. And then... yeah, then they miss. They miss a high jump kick, and then game gets pretty much to full health, it takes poison damage, and they die to the high jump kick. And then Aerodactyl comes in here, so it has Unnerve, so no more Anger Berry for me, if it is a special set, so I'm running out of time, so I have to Thunder Punch. 46 seconds left on the clock. Thunder Punch will obliterate this thing. No, they go for Rock Slide, so they're trying to flinch me here, which would be karma for the miss, and I do not flinch, and I get a Thunder Punch off. And there is no Focus Sash on Ari, the Aerodactyl. And I take more poison damage. Now that does a hell of a lot of damage. Now I am very low here. Obviously their last guy is Weavile. If I go down to this knockoff, Weavile kills the rest of my team. If they have triple axle, they have to risk missing. I go for Facade, obviously, for the KO. And they have to, like, miss triple axle, or I have to live whatever they do, right? It's going to be extremely close, because I am at +2 defense. They go for knockoff, and Endgame lives on 12 health, and uses Facade, and snaps the Weavile in half, which is pretty aggressive. And that actually wins me the game. A 4-0 victory. For me, this time around, obviously, communicating, obviously, very clutch at the end there to live on 12 health. There's a lot of times, actually, where I lived on very low in that match. There were 3 different times. Zapdos did on 3 health, Foymore did on 3 health, and Endgameness did on 12. So, obviously, now I talk about my team, which I'm going to try to, obviously, talk about them as they're on screen. Venray was pretty good. I had to bring Venray for Bolt Beak. Obviously, I couldn't take an Earthquake. I was just there to stall out Sandstorm and make sure that they can't disband Bolt Beak if they were choice banded, which they ended up not being. I did take out a Hippowdon, but that's pretty much all Venray did. Very offensive build, but it was played very defensively this week. So Venray was pretty decent. Yeah. For Waymore here, leftovers, obviously, I don't need to say they're set. She didn't actually really get to push too many moves. She didn't push knockoff. She didn't push leech seed. She didn't push substitute. She pushed protect once and it failed. So unfortunately, she was just kind of I had to sack her off. So she didn't do anything this match, unfortunately. But she did live a Bolt Beak and an Earthquake. Just not the Sandstorm damage afterwards. So her time will come eventually again. It's just not this run around. Banneret was great. Made sure Weavile did not push too much pressure. In hindsight, I should have just pushed Roost in front of the Weavile, but I couldn't let it be a Swords Dance set, but I knew it wasn't at that point, so I definitely 100% should have pushed Roost, because if I lose my item, knockoff doesn't do as much damage, and if they triple axle, Rocky Helmet does a lot of damage, and they can miss. So Banneret was great. Shahelvir was fantastic, great, whatever. Poisoned Raboot stalled the Hippowdon of its health with poison damage, which was Banneret's poison damage, but who cares? Raboot took a lot of damage from poison, and Shahelv was still alive at the end of the game. Obviously, would not be able to live a knockoff from the Weavile, so I unfortunately got myself into that corner, which I did not see until I was at the end there. Obviously, Endgame's MVP here. She picks up 3 KOs on Celesteela, Aerodactyl, and obviously the Weavile. Reboot knocked itself out with high jump kick. Its knee shatters on the hard ground, and it unfortunately gets knocked out. So that's not a KO for endgame, but I needed that to happen. That was the best thing possible to happen, so I needed that exact thing to happen, or else it was game over for me. So endgame actually moves to a neutral KD now, that with all those 3 KOs, she's now 4-4, which is great. Zapdos here, you know, it was good again. I didn't actually run Protect, which maybe was a mistake for the thing, but no, it wasn't a mistake. I do not regret that. Didn't actually push anything there. Didn't actually do much, but didn't do anything actually. Wait, now what do I think about it? Zapdos didn't really do anything at all. Just kind of just pushed. Thunderbolt, it didn't work. I did poison. I shouldn't say that. I poisoned Shakasaur and I was able to finish it off, essentially. And I did live, and Outrage, so Zapdos did good, obviously. But you know what? That's going to be it for me here, because I got about 20 seconds left. Yeah, and I was also thinking, I was confused on the left-hand side there. There's a bunch of atoms showing up there. Him there, so... But that doesn't really matter. Anyway, that is going to be it for me. I'm out of time on this video. There's no need for Mr. Freeze at the end. And I will see you for week 8. Okay? Smell you later.